eyeballing this, and this consistency, if you look at it, should be about the consistency of vitamin D milk. So you take some milk, pour it into a glass, and swirl it around. It just slightly coats it, kind of like this, and it slides back down. That's the consistency you want for your paint. Keep adding more. Parts this up. And the true test is to have like a sheet of paper. Which, Xavier, can you give me a blank? Can you give me a sheet of paper, please? I like to have a sheet of paper when I'm working. Actually, give me several sheets of paper because I'm going to use them for the backs here. You see, it's starting to kind of coat and drop down. So consistency of milk, very thick milk. So the true test is to throw it in an airbrush and kind of spray it out a little bit and see how that works.
Have you paid yet? So you still have to stamp it.
So when I'm spraying like that, you see that I just sprayed it onto the sheet, and it's kind of fairly dotted up. Now that's still considerably thick. So when I spray the paint on there, you can see that it's kind of dotted up. So if you look at this, here, if you look at how it's kind of dotted around that spray pattern, that's still a little bit on the thick side. But it's almost, you can work with this. We can put the airbrush pressure up a little bit so that I can push that paint out. I'm going to kind of dump this back in and add a little bit more thinner here. Again, mix this up. So I want you guys to pass this kind of around and kind of mix this up and look at that consistency. It's going to slightly coat the surface and drop down. That's about the consistency you want. So compare this to when you open up a bottle of paint. It's a lot thinner because your airbrush is pushing very, very thin layers of paint out. So if you have those sheets of paper in front of you, this is going to be your like kind of protective placemat against painting. Yeah, and it's not as toxic as as other paints can be. Part here, you have your airbrush right here, right? Now, the first thing when you're spraying a part, you want to do a light misting layer. So you're going to hold the airbrush about this far, and it's just going to kind of lightly mist it, like that, like so. Now it gets a nice light tacky layer onto this. So if you go in there and just immediately start spraying paint onto the part, your paint's not going to stick really well to this part. You need kind of like an intermediate, because it's a dry, bare plastic piece. You kind of put a little bit of light misting layer first, so it looks like this. Look at this. Pass this around a little bit, and then once you have this light mist layer on there, you can go ahead and start spraying a little closer and a little heavier. And what you want to do is when you pass this around here, you see it's dotted on the surface, little dots, and this works to help collect the paint onto the surface. So it works as an intermediate. It's like, I'm trying to think of a non-sexual way to put this. Helps paint adhesion? Yeah, that helps paint adhesion. It's not like, So once I have this on here, I can go ahead and just, spray heavily right there, like so. And when I'm spraying, constantly moving this hand back and forth, and moving this as well. You don't want to sit there and spray at one spot for any amount of time because your paint's going to pull. Once your paint pulls, step away from the part, move on to the next part. Because you put more paint on there, it has to have time to kind of self-level and dry on its own. So and the more paint you put on there, the more paint's going to just continue to pull because that paint's already pulled. So go ahead and start like kind of mist around it. Be careful with the kind of open. Oh yeah, sorry about that. I didn't bring a cap for that. So what you're gonna have to do for this, I'll give you a paper towel.
You got one of those too.
Sorry about that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna push down an airbrush for air first, and then slowly pull back for the paint. Let's see. Oh no, you don't have air. Push this. Okay, now try it. There we go. Sir, don't use your thumb as your holding device. Yeah, right here.
You gotta kill your hand.
So use your finger, use your indexing finger, push down for air. You have air flow first and slowly pull back, very, very slowly. So this is called a dual action airbrush. So push for air and slowly pull back.
There.
Because you have much more dexterity with your finger. Slowly pull back. Push for air. Yeah, and slowly with the finger, slowly pull back for paint. So when you're doing this, as you're trying to pull, you're a little bit too close to it. So do this first. Spray a light tacky layer, and then you can get kind of close and just kind of with very little, you move your finger back and forth and paint. So what you see my finger do is watch my finger. It's going very slowly back and forth. Okay? So yeah, so this is called a dual action. So practice this, and the more you paint, the better you get at it.
Oh, it kind of pulled, huh?
You guys getting this? You guys want to like kick them out and try to your head out a little bit?
Let's see.
You're welcome to vlog.
Oh no, yeah, go for it.
You can practice. We'll give you more sheets of so you can look at this. It's getting nice and you're getting a nice coat on this. Very good. You got a little bit here.
Yeah, I was trying to do it.
See? So just you can spray the back end of it so you get more practice in. Again, mist it first, get a misting layer first, and that finger dexterity, push for air, slowly pull back, and close the air, or close it back, and let go. Otherwise, when you pull back, and just let go without dropping it forward, you have paint build up on the front of the nozzle. So next time you push down on it, that paint is going to go somewhere and splatter on your tip.
Part that's like splattering.
Yeah.
This way.
How you doing?
You can build up layers of paint, applying a little at a time. Just keep going over the same area. It'll get darker. It'll get
So, right, let me see what you're doing. You gotta get dual motion with your hands going on, like this and like that.
Normally I'm standing when I'm doing it, so resting my because I have just an entire
It's good to sit
set
to
up.
do this.
It is.
I paint for long periods of time, so it's good to sit down and paint.
I just have a station in my garage, so I don't really have
Fair
the
enough.
ability to sit
Understood.
still.
Arizona gets dry.
Oh god.
So your thinning ratio might be different because it's so dry in your area. So when you're painting and it's so dry in the atmosphere, you might have problems with spider web.
I've noticed that a little bit.
So there's something called retarder that will slow down your drying time, and you also push the pressure up, paint a lot closer, or paint a lot. Yeah, change up your paint styles, like distance, change your thinning ratios, change your air pressures, and that will help fix some of that issues.
Alright, I'll just try it out then. That's actually really good to know.
How you doing?